corrected already.
Yeah, I corrected them.
Yeah. Kind of hard to keep all the dates and
So
times
Chris,
straight.
you're gonna contact the hospital and say.
Yeah, I will do that. All right, we are live.
Call meeting in order. Begin with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item is approval of the agenda. Any additions or deletions?
I would like once again to add, let's discuss for the public's side of it to where they know where we stand as far as EMS goes.
Did you receive that update
Yeah,
from
but I don't think
Jared Simpson?
it wasn't published in the paper, so the public don't know about what went on. Or
I think that
what's
email
been
was
discussed.
shared with Kelly, and if you asked him if you could share that with other council members and commissioners. I don't know if he wants to.
I
I
don't
guess
feel
we can
comfortable
ask him.
speaking, I'm not going to speak on behalf of the hospital. And what the update that I provided to the council and commissioners was directly from the CEO of the hospital about things that they're working on, and I don't feel comfortable speaking on his behalf.
I mean, I guess we could get, inquire with him,
I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
I'll
You can-
reach out to him and the public is very unhappy with the EMS, which I'm not, but it's a personnel. I mean, it's not bad personnel, it's a lack of personnel.
Right, that's what they're working
And-
on is staffing.
But, it makes it look like the county is doing nothing.
Well, that's
I think he's
absolutely not
working on it.
true.
Well,
I mean, you're free to meet with him, call him and schedule an appointment, and meet with him. That's,
I've already met with him, so I
oh,
know,
okay, well.
but I don't understand why.
Would you like to provide the
Yeah.
update that you
Yeah, good
have?
update on that. On your meeting.
I have an update. I can give you all the dates and times that I met with them, and they
But I mean,
provided
that's what the public's wanting.
my personal update.
I mean, they're just wanting an update. I mean, there's a self-appointed committee that is meeting with the hospital.
Who's self-appointed
There's
committee?
no
I'm
committee.
reasonably sure that you and Randy and
Well,
David have,
that's typical county business. We've always done that.
First of all, I would like to make a statement about that. I was elected by the people of this county to do county business and to look into issues and concerns and things that are going on. And I took it upon myself on January 6th, 6 days into office, to reach out to, I actually reached out to the president of the commissioners and the president of the council because I had concerns and I wanted to talk to the CEO of the hospital. We called and made an appointment with him and asked if we could come in to talk
who's
about
we?
myself, Randy, and David. Because I asked them to come with me. That's how that happened. Because I took an initiative as an elected official to try to solve a problem or to try to figure out what's going on. I went out there, we expressed our concerns, coverage and, issues, and just had a good conversation. We went back in March to try to follow up to see what was going on. That's when the $25,000 was brought up. They said they could use a little more funding. Maybe they could increase the wages and they could get some more personnel because staffing is the problem. We brought it, the commissioner, Randy Cole, brought it to the commissioners. It was passed through that would be okay, the $25,000 that they had asked for, that they said that they thought would help. It passed the commissioners. It came to this board in a public meeting. It was discussed. We talked about it and it passed the motion of intent to fund it to help bring the wages up. I think if you've seen the posts on Facebook from the Perry County Memorial Hospital that the wages have went up for both EMTs and paramedics. So I do see that that's positive progress. They have also opened up EMT classes in partnership with Deaconess in Evansville to allow EMTs from here to be paid to go to training in Evansville to get their certifications to help with the staffing issue. I think that's positive progress. I sent some information over to the hospital that I found let me find it. Just the other day on the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. I found a $5.7 million grant from the state of Indiana where they can apply for EMS funding. I talked to the Department of Homeland Security. I sent it over to the hospital to look at because they're the ones that would have to apply for it. I found opportunities on Department of Homeland Security website where our county could post their openings on there in the event that any EMTs or paramedic personnel would like to look for jobs on there, because all across the state you can post your jobs, and our county didn't have any jobs posted. I sent that information to them. So I'm just actively working as a council member to try to find ways to help, find solutions. So if anybody else, if you want to take an initiative to do that or do anything, you're welcome to. But that's how this all came about. It's not a self-appointed committee. It's called taking an initiative as elected official.
And there's nothing to hide, there's nothing to really report. I mean,
The hospital's in transition to a new CEO and they didn't, at first, I don't think they knew about the $25,000.
Yeah, when we met the last time with the hospital CEO, he wasn't aware of the $25,000 because he was new, and that information didn't get passed along to him. Now it's been worked out. He's aware of it. He understands it. Our motion of intent, he has that information. Like I said, just yesterday, I think it was, they posted that they increased the paramedics' starting wage, and I believe if I looked at it correctly, it's higher than any surrounding county for a starting paramedics pay. I think that's a positive progress. There's some things that the CEO said he's working on that he can't announce to us right now because he doesn't want, to say something's going to happen and it doesn't happen. So we have to give him time.
I don't think
He's brand new. I think he's 6 weeks in.
They don't even know for sure what they are going to do.
Yeah, he has a
They're
couple
unsure.
ideas, he said, but he didn't share them with us
Because he doesn't know even yet.
He's got to make sure that it works out.
If
But
there's anything that requires a vote or whatever, or funding, it's going to come back to the council and the commissioners.
absolutely.
Yes.
I do know that there was 24 openings due deaconess in Evansville, and they were gracious enough to give us 2 of the openings for the schooling, for the training for the EMTs.
So that's changed. There's 3 available openings now.
That's good.
Oh, I think it's awesome.
So I really don't appreciate the self-appointed comments. It's just called taking an initiative. And this is part of the job as being an elected representative. If you have an issue or a concern, you should take it upon yourself to go and try to figure out ways to help find a solution. So that's what I've done, and that's what I'm going to continue to do with everything.
I think I've decided that we're not going to add items to the agenda the night of the meeting without, first notifying people 48 hours in advance, because there's a lot of people get their feelings hurt or they're not aware of what we're talking about. So I think we need to just, if it's not an emergency, we don't need to be adding it to the agenda. And I don't think this is an emergency because we have nothing really to report.
Well, I think without a doubt, the state of our EMS service in this county, it's a big emergency.
Well, but you're not going to be able to do anything to
Well,
discuss
I
it
mean-
tonight.
You
Can
said
I
can
can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Okay, I have on my calendar when I have to post the agenda. I've lived by my calendar. I put on my calendar when the agenda needs to be posted. So like for this week, well, every week, the week of the meeting, the agenda has to be posted before I leave Monday night. So at the latest 5:00 on Monday night, I would make it a recommendation as elected officials of all committees to put it on your agenda, on your calendar, and contact me prior to. I have too many things going on to email out and ask everyone for items to be on the agenda. And then it throws me, in a sense, under the bus when we talk about items that involve other committees, other areas of the community that have not been notified of a discussion. That's why it is coming from me to limit the additions the day of the meeting, because it is not good practice.
I
So
agree.
that's all I'm stating is, I understand everybody has other jobs, other duties. Use your calendar. And if you had an item that we need to discuss at the meeting, make sure you let me know that Monday before 5:00 and I will add it on.
I agree
So
with you,
that's
Chris.
just a suggestion.
As a citizen, I always got upset whenever things were slid under miscellaneous or last minute agenda additions, because I paid attention to the agendas. And if there wasn't something on there that I wanted to, hear about or be a part of the discussion or maybe ask questions, then I wouldn't show up and then find out afterwards that something I felt was important was actually brought up or added last minute. I think that's unfair to the public.
And that is exactly what's happening. And in a sense where my name is on the agenda, I'm the one putting it together. It represents me. So I get calls from people, well, I didn't know you were talking about this item tonight because it was not on the agenda. Well, it was added that night. We've got to limit the additions to be fair to everyone in the county.
I agree.
So get your additions in by Monday.
I believe on the hospital, I believe if they have something concrete to report, I think they need to come here, like the EMS, come here and explain to us, what they are actually doing. And they should be on the agenda, like you said, in advance. And,
So we actually haven't really even.
So we're getting back to approval of the agenda. We're not adding the EMS to tonight.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it is.
Motion by Stan, second by Earl. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. What we got, 6-0? Next item is approval of minutes.
Okay, we did have an adjustment on the 5 minutes in regards to a motion. Paul had made a motion to pay the PCDC invoice and it died without a second. And that correction has been made. What was the other correction, Paul? It's been a couple days ago.
Typo, just the starting time listed as 4 o'clock. It's 5
5
o'clock.
o'clock, okay, gotcha. So those changes have been made on the 5-5. I didn't hear anything on the 6-8, so
That's all I.
It's 5-5.
5-25 and 6-8.
Dave,
Did
will
I
take
say-
them both together or one at a time? or
We can
take
take them separate if we want to, in case some people weren't here. Okay, I would entertain a motion for approval of the May 25th.
So moved.
Motion by Paul with these changes. Second by Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 5 with 1. You weren't here, were you, Keith?
No, I was
5 with 1 abstention. Okay, next we have the June 8th meeting, special meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries 6-0. Next item is any public comments? At this point, I don't think we have
I
any.
think Gary's gonna wait and see what he says.
Yeah. Next, we have Christina Hammock, auditor.
Okay, I did want to make mention, I know I made mention to the commissioners, and I just want to keep everybody informed. The commissioners did table this, but I wanted to go ahead and keep you guys all informed too. We do business with Hoosier Business Machines. They provide service for all of our copiers and stuff here. I did have Phil John came to my office actually on Monday. Is that right? No. Yeah, Monday, because I added, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, recently Phil John came to my office and explained that the copier in the auditor's office, which was purchased on August 14th, or August of 2014, they can no longer guarantee to get parts for that machine because of the age of it. The service contract was supposed to run out the end of this month, but he has spoke with the powers to be to extend that through the end of 2023, just because, throwing us in the midst of it, but did give us a trade-in option for basically the exact services that the current copier offers, just an updated copier. With the trade-in of our old copier, it would be $5,899. And this quote is good until July 17th. He did inform me too that there will be a minimum of a 10% increase after. What I have the kind of things that I have been, running through my mind with this, knock on wood, it's fine now, but what if in February it bites the dust, Other things that I've looked at, we did move the administrator's copier into the treasurer's office because they had one that was it was super old and did not make very good copies, and it was just very, very old. I've thought about the option. We do have that transition room in the middle between the treasurers and the auditors, where if something would happen, we could put that one in there because it's newer and we can share and go back to copy counts. I'm just looking at options, but I don't want this decision to be on me. I don't, I'm just trying to look at all the actions and get everybody's feedback on that. Like I said, the commissioners did table it until the next meeting to kind of look and discuss options. So I'm just basically sharing that information because of course the $5,899 is not in the 23 budget, but it could be, if we decide to do so. Who's Your Business is really well to work with. We could, if we decide to go this route, we could put it in the 2024 budget going forward. So just food for thought.
How old is that copy that moved out?
Well, almost 10.
No, the one that moved out of the auditor's office or the administrator's office. Do you know?
I am not sure. I will have to look on that. I can email that out to you guys. I know it's not as old as this one.
Yeah.
So
Just curious, Chris,
Uh-huh.
the price is $5,899 with trade-in?
with trade-in, the retail value is 16,000.
16,000.
Yeah, retail price is 16,000. So with trading ours in, you're going to be at 58.99.
So
What's he
the
doing
value?
with the old one if it can't?
We talked about this, the commissioners. I really don't, I don't know if they use it for parts. I don't know if they refurbish it and sell it as a old car. I don't know. But you're looking at, yeah. So
It just seems kind of ironic. It's not worth anything, but they're giving, and the commissioners
Basically
meeting
giving you
same
about-
thing.
giving you over 10 for it.
Mhm.
But you haven't that's the only quote that I know you like to do, would you like to stay with them?
I
because
would,
you do business with
The
them.
local,
Just,
the service, and I really do not know, and we could look, I said that to commissioners too, and that's one of the things that I was, going to look more into, but looking at, I don't know if there's
Yeah.
really any other local that, I'm sure there is in Evansville or somewhere that we do. It's just, Who's Your Business is just kind of the local.
They,
Go-to guy.
They will continue the service though through December 31st of this year.
Yes,
Okay, we have our budget hearings in September to allow money for next year.
right. That's what I'm saying.
So,
If we wanted to
We
plan,
could keep it, put it in your budget.
put it in my budget,
For next
and
year.
they would.
I wonder if they would allow us to go ahead and maybe sign a contract to purchase one next year and still get the 10% as long as we guaranteed we would purchase it, at the beginning of the year. If that's something you want to put in your budget, we could always ask. My next question would be the lead time. Did you ever get to, I don't know if they brought it up, but you know what, if it's something where you can get it in a week and we could use something else, but if it's 6 months out, we would need to know because.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not, it's probably at least a 2 to 3 month order. I will reach out to Phil John. I apologize. I know some of these questions here came from the commissioners meeting too, and I just have not had time to reach out to him. So this is not something urgent. I just wanted to know it's basically next month. We got to make a decision.
Actually, we had this same conversation, I think about a year ago, about this copier.
About this
That is-
copier.
Yeah.
I
So,
would like to see us put this on the 2024 budget.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be
And,
a good idea.
As long as it's not like a 6 month.
It's 10 years old. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to replace it, but I'd like to see it put in there and we'll know from this meeting that, we can't take it out.
right.
Well,
Of the
with
budget.
one, with this big or this good of a price,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that we don't let it slide through our fingers.
Yeah. If we need to, I'll reach out to Phil next week. I know I emailed you guys my schedule. I will be out of the office. I won't be back until the 13th, so that's not going to put a whole lot of time with getting this done. So I will reach out and make this a priority next week to get some information. And we, might have to call a special meeting if we decide to go
Sure.
that route before the 17th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
sound
maybe
okay?
he'll
Yeah.
still give you the 10% if you go ahead and,
And verbally.
commit to,
I would say
yeah, or if we would, I guess, our commissioners commit to something.
$11,000 would definitely
Yeah.
be,
Sounds good.
fall in the lines of a special meeting savings.
All righty. Anything else on that one? Okay. We do have some additional appropriations. The sheriff inmate housing for $12,000. This is money is needed to pay part-time officers when full-time officers are on vacation for personal sick or training. I know this is something that, isn't a shock or anything new, that staffing over there has been an issue. So when officers do take off, overtime and part-time officers is needed. So this is not coming out of the general fund. They have the money in the inmate housing. Am I correct on that?
Yes, ma'am, you're doing good.
Thank you. So $12,000, they're just asking to add an additional appropriation to the inmate housing.
Is this reoccurring or is this happen every year?
So, I'll be honest with you, I've been very, very short with the correctional officers as well as a deputy. We did have a deputy that quit. We did hire somebody else, but he has zero experience. So we have to go through the whole process of sending to the academy. We're going to lose him already for 6 to 8 months. We still have not hired until I was just told today that we hired a correctional officer. We hadn't had one for a month. We can't find the right one. We've had several interview, but I don't feel comfortable putting somebody in there that we all don't agree on. So we do have times when people are sick, when people are out and short staffed. So that's why I would like to do that at the inmate housing to help.
Is this something that in the future you should include in your budget?
It just depends. We are because of our population is so high with
Okay.
inmates from Perry County. Right now, I've only got one inmate from Vanderbilt County.
Your female population is pretty high. isn't it?
Yes, so we did reduce it some this week by being able to take people to prison. We did that. So I do have calls into Vanderbilt County to get maybe just 4 more, but I can't take any more than that right now. So
Your estimation this last year, end of the year, or, I know
it's hard to
guess.
say. It's hard to say. Like I said, I do have a deputy that we just hired is going to be gone for 4 months, 5 months.
Is he working with riding along?
He is riding along right now and getting his
Learning
training,
the ropes.
some of the training, but he
Sure.
can't go to the academy until next month.
Sure,
And this is out of the inmate housing fund. You have
Yes.
the money.
Yes.
Motion is made to allow it.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
So there's a line item in the inmate housing fund that's for overtime.
Mhm.
Is that something that could be used towards this and then the additional could come after that? Because it is, to pay
So-
for people on.
When I started this, there's no way I could ever keep up the comp time. There's no way. You would not be happy with me if I did not have this fund.
Yeah.
And that's why I took it out of that fund for my correctional officers and my deputies to pay them overtime.
Mhm.
So I guess I don't understand.
The 15,000 that was budgeted for the overtime.
Yep.
Is that, this is kind of the same thing. It's for part-time people to
Yes,
cover.
part-time. Yeah,
Right.
because there's a difference between my part-time and my full-time.
But in the inmate housing fund, it just says for overtime.
For
So,
overtime for my employees, my full-time employees.
okay, so you couldn't use that for,
She was thinking that you could use that.
I understand that, but I'm
later
telling
on-
you, I use that up. I'll be honest with you. I don't like to use comp time because I can't pay you back.
Well, I mean,
Can't do
you would, well, you.
yeah,
how you gonna
I'm
fill
not
it
upset
in?
that you have it. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, because there's like 7,000 something
I
left
don't know
in
if
there.
you can combine them at all.
Well, I was just.
Is there a separate line item for the part-time and full-time, or is it all
I
going in
don't
one?
think so.
I'm not
It comes out of
familiar.
the inmate housing.
I
Right.
think it's just in that overtime fund,
How much
right?
is in there right now? Do you know?
I think it's
That's-
7,000 something.
Okay, so I don't want to take any more from that because it's only June. I will use that.
Well, that's what I mean. Is that where this 12,
She
No,
was saying
that
so-
is just, okay, so that 12 right there is for my part-time deputy that works for Tell City Police Department full-time. They work for us.
Mhm.
County officers work for County, sometimes they work for us.
Sure.
I got somebody from Santa Claus work for them, they work for me. So these are all on what you're talking about, this part-time officers or just part-time officers. I have some part-time correctional officers. That's all over here. The inmate housing for the overtime is just full-time employees of Perry County Sheriff's Office. That makes sense? Explain it better?
I think what she's asking is, are you gonna pay, is the part-time and full-time paid out of the same line item, the same account?
I couldn't tell you that.
So she's
I
saying,
think they
she's saying,
are.
could you,
Yeah, I think,
could you pay part of the 12 out of the 15 and then
And then
later
come
on,
back
when
with
you
the
figure out, then you
additional.
come back for an appropriation?
There's only 6 something left.
Yeah,
That's what she's asking.
right, I mean, just
Yeah.
use that up and then we'll know.
I don't know if you can combine it or just do one.
I think that's where it comes from, isn't it?
I think so.
It's all one line item. So basically, you've got the 6,000, right under 7,000's remaining in there, okay?
Right.
For overtime.
For overtime, okay? So we would move, if this was approved, then we would move that 12,000 into that same line item, because there's not a separate
I wouldn't have a
part-time.
problem. I don't care what.
And that.
We got it.
And then that's, but what you're,
Well, I guess I'm
She's
thinking
saying-
just use up the 6 and
Yeah,
then when,
that's
as
what
we
she's
need
saying.
more, it can be put in
Then
there.
you later on appropriate it.
Don't want to
That's
put
what-
myself in a bind where I got to keep coming back each time. I don't see a reason for that.
Do you know what the 12,000 is based on? Like how many hours that you have?
Well,
Based at what rate
You can do
you
it.
can
So
get?
I got part-time deputies that paid $25 an hour, and I got some part-time correctional officers that are paid anywhere from 12 to 14.
Motion's been made.
Okay.
Well,
I was just curious how how you came up with 12,000 or how long you expect that to, how many,
We were hoping
Days
to
or
get through the
hours
rest
that
of the year with
Well-
that, with the part-time.
we are in June.
Mhm.
And you had 12,000 in there. Now you got 7, you use,
That is,
That much.
that's for
would it be
full-time
better if
employees.
we move the jump that, like 6,000 instead of 12?
well, here's,
That will put you right at 12,000
can I
again,
comment on that?
just like at the beginning of the year.
well,
It's no different than when we've talked with the coroner about, and he's not here, so I don't want to talk too much, but we've talked about, we need to budget appropriately and whatever, where we're not having to come back here over and over again. We've already had to come back 2 times for additional appropriations for autopsies fees because of the large. I think what we're here is that if he's saying that this 12,000 additional will get him through the remainder of the year where he won't have to come
Come
back.
back. I'd love to say at the end of the year, it goes right back into our fund anyway.
And then next year, he probably needs to put that in his budget.
We revise, maybe.
Well, there's some in there already in the budget, but
Right.
it was in a different budget.
You had the 15 you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the 15, you're going to be using that for the.
I
so
would say
you-
yes, because
you
we're
probably
very short-handed.
You're under budgeted, really.
We got a lot of vacations, we got things come up, I gotta call people out for different things, and it's just, we just don't have enough staff.
And
We
to
started
reiterate,
out the budget year at $12,000.
No.
no,
15.
15,
15, okay.
it's down to under
Yeah,
number 7.
And we're about
15.
halfway
We're about halfway
here,
through.
so he's using that.
Again, this is all from the inmate housing, this is for housing inmates in Vanderbilt County.
Mr. Chairman, the motion has been made and has been seconded on this.
So this would be coming out of the county general then?
No,
No.
no,
That's
it's
inmate
inmate
housing.
housing.
Inmate housing, okay.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, I think Paul made a motion,
Yes.
second by Keith. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Al.
Okay, the next next additional appropriation is EMA statewide 911. Again, this is not coming out of the general, this is additional funding for the EMA statewide 911 1222. Money is needed to replace the CAD server at the central dispatch. I know I had sent you guys all the paperwork, as Steve Hauser is always good about giving us what we need.
Make a motion, we approve that.
Did anybody, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion by Keith, second by Paul. Any discussion? Steve's here if you have any questions of him. or for
I
him.
appreciate the information that you gave us and that your board approved it and it was unanimous.
So no other discussion. I'll entertain a vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 6-0. Next go.
We have the county general coroner. Warren was not able to be here, but he did come to the special meeting on the 8th due to him having a meeting out of town this evening. But money is needed to cover storage of cadavers outside of Perry County. He had this $200 is to pay a funeral home for the storage of
That's nothing we can do. He had to take the body somewhere, so the only thing we can do is approve that. We gotta pay that funeral home. And I think.
Are you making a motion?
I think
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
I'll
Keith,
second.
second by Paul.
We got a discount, for lack of better words. The funeral home gives a good deal on it anyway.
Yeah, we've got it better set up
Any
now.
discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Okay. The next item is actually a county general additional appropriation for the sheriff's salary. I know I provided all the proper documentation to you guys as the additionals needed due to the prosecutor's increase in salary, which starts on July 1 of 2023. The sheriff's salary is currently set at 50% of the Perry County's prosecutor's salary. This is state mandated. There's nothing you can do about it. So it is.
Darn.
Motion's made to approve it.
Second.
Motion by Paul, second by Keith. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Oh, he said thank you.
Should we kind of wait until David asks for a motion before someone blurts something out? I mean, that's proper procedure.
All right. I forgot to announce this at the beginning of the meeting. I do apologize. I do need to remove right now for the time being this additional request. I know I had met with you guys, or I had spoke at the last meeting in regards to additional funding request for time and attendance. I'm not changing that I feel this is needed, but we are going to go ahead and give it a little bit more time to listen to another vendor. And that I will not be present. They will be presenting first time at the July 3rd meeting. I will be on vacation that week, so I will not be here, but my first deputy and payroll person, who has probably more knowledge than I do, will be here for Ann Island to present. And then we'll probably need to do, either we'll wait, or if we do end up having a special meeting, maybe to do it then, or so I'm going to table this until after. I'm trying to basically get some presentation where you guys can have enough information to make an educated decision on who we go with. I'm actually have a meeting scheduled to talk with Lau. They're in the process. I want to get them down here too. Just so you know, most of their IT people are located in South Bend. So if they're willing to come down here to do a presentation as well. We'll just table this additional appropriation. I do apologize.
So is the presentation occurring at the commissioners meeting,
It's set up right now for
July 3rd?
July 3rd. And then, of course, I'd like for you guys to see it as well, too. So I don't know if I really am not familiar with how that works. I mean, I guess we'd have to do two separate meetings for them to do a presentation, or do a joint prior to the 3rd. Maybe start the meeting a little earlier with a joint for the payroll presentation, possibly.
We
So
could do that.
maybe we can do that. I'm talking off the cuff right now. So I just want to get that information out.
I
Okay.
can just keep us informed on
Yeah.
that.
So we'll table that. I apologize. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the meeting. All right.
Transfers.
Okay. So, the transfer we have, this is not additional. As you guys know, we had to do a transfer back in March from special legislation to CUMCAP in the amount of $100,000 to last us until we got settlement done. Of course, settlement has been done. So I just need your guys' okay to pay Paul back.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Earl, second by Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Motion carries 6-0.
All right. Danielle is not here. I thought she was going to be here, but I think I sent you guys all the paperwork for this. With the local health trust grants, a new fund number is reset at the beginning of each year for their funding. So I know I've made mention that negative funds, we shouldn't have any negative funds at the end of each month, okay? We have grants that run in the negative because they are reimbursable, okay? It is June, and I finally got some time in May to take a look at these negative reimbursable grants. Because in my mind, if they were reimbursable from 2022, they should be positive by now because we're well into the second quarter if they were receiving funding. So I reached out to different departments that have these grants to talk to them about the negative grants. This is one of them that was an oversight, and I sent you guys where I have no explanation as to why, but I'm trying to find it. It's buried. I haven't been flipping my papers. If you guys see on the paper that I sent you, the activity on the fund, they transferred on 5/13. So the way it works is it gets transferred to the new fund number, and they transferred $511.87. I feel that, but then there were still other purchases that came in on the credit card pretty much the month before. So I don't know if that number was just pulled a little early. So I think it's just a timing thing of when they came. So this fund is just negative $511.87 due to the transfer from, let me get my numbers straight, from the old 9162 local health trust grant to the new 9170. So this is just basically a bookkeeping error that needs to be cleaned up. This was one of the easy ones.
So you're just
Yeah.
righting the wrong.
Righting or wrong, correct.
I would entertain a motion to approve the transfer.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Keith,
I'll
second by
that.
Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Right.
Aye.
Is Steve Hall here on this?
He didn't okay, so Steve didn't have anything, but sometimes things arise with Steve and he's always here and I never know if something's
Okay.
gonna, so
So we
he's
just,
just in the template, if that
we can
makes sense.
skip over that then.
Yep.
Okay, next we have
Template.
review of tax abatements. Every year, county council has to review the CF1s on all tax abatements that the county, and we only have ATTC, which is a number of them, and NM Municipal Power Agency, and then Envision Eye Care, which I would assume that's new. I don't think we have anything to review there yet.
What about River Point?
River
City.
Point would be Troy, I would assume.
No,
City.
That's city.
River
Or
Point
City,
Hotel.
Tell City, or
City.
it's those are Troy and Tell City. They're
I have the list. I got the list from Connie yesterday because they had the meeting here.
We have nothing to do with Tell City and Troy.
Yeah, Tell Cities are automatically with the Tell City Hospitality, the River Point Retail.
We're doing them all at once, David, or are we gonna take them individually?
I think we can probably do them all at once. I think they all were filed timely by May 15th.
Yeah, doing them once, it's pretty
I
academic.
mean, all the paperwork.
As you guys can see, there's a lot of paperwork
Right.
that goes with it.
They were filed timely by May 15th, and then they are in compliant. So really all we need to do is vote to approve them. So I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Paul, second by Keith. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
The Texas, there are 10 of them on there.
Yeah, they were all
What?
the city ones were. She said the city ones too, which was fine.
Our next item is PCDC contract. Every year, we need to approve the PCDC contract. The commissioners did enter into a contract. So now all we have to, we have the, I think we were sent the revised contract, final contract to everybody. So but the commissioners have entered into the contract with the PCDC, and then we of course have to approve the funding of the contract. So any discussion on that?
I think it's wonderful that we finally was able to, and appreciate John Shear and Randy Cole and yourself getting this worked out with the PCD people to where it didn't work on the timeline that we maybe wanted, but it's worked out. So
I think we're a month
Move
away
on to,
from last year. Last year we approved it in May. This year we're
Yeah.
approving in June.
move on to bigger and better things.
Yep, I agree.
I think it's great.
So any other discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Keith, second by Earl. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. You have anything else?
I don't.
We got to approve the invoices, don't we? For PCDC.
Yeah, that was under the, I put them as the same line item.
I'm-
Approved, I guess, approved together.
Okay.
Contract, I guess.
I,
Okay, great. As long as we get them the money. Great.
I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Paul.
Second.
Second by Stan.
5:45.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
A lot of business.
Motion carries 6-0.
5:45.
Oh.
Y'all are good.
5:45.
Good.